Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We need to welcome everyone to this great webinar. And from the list of the attendee, we can see that we have people from different places. We have presidents from some companies, VPs, university deans, managers, students, faculty. So I want to really thank them all for being with us tonight. Also, I need to have a special thank for KFUPM that are always helpful in organizing such great events. Special thank will be to YBC, the Young Professional Committee, and the KFUPM AICHE chapter, which is part of the Chemical Engineering Department, for their great effort in organizing this webinar. Hopefully that everybody will go out with a great things from our great person. I will let the moderator just introduce him. So of course we have from the YBC, it is represented today by Mohammed Mutawar, the president, and Mr. Ali Sultan from KAN. And we have also the KFUPM AICHE student chapter president, Mr. Abdurrahman Al-Ahmari. So our moderator for tonight will be Ali Sultan, and it's all yours.
Thank you, Dr. Bassem. Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ramadan Kareem to all of you. نسأل الله يتقبل الطاعات والعمل الصالح. My name is Ali Sultan, and I am the Communications Subcommittee Chair of the Saudi Young Professionals Committee of the American Institute of Chemical Engineers, which hosts this event in collaboration with KFUPM AICHE Student Chapter. We are pleased to welcome you today in this webinar. Maybe this time our bodies are apart. However, in AICHE, we believe in creating links, in empowering students and young professionals. Today, maybe through virtual social network, but hopefully we will meet physically soon when this pandemic is over. What I know now, I wish I knew then, is the title of today's webinar. Our guest is a very special guest. He happens to be the Vice President of the Local Content and Business Development Unit and CEO of Nusaned Investment Company at SABIC, Mr. Fuad Mosa. He holds a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from KFUPM in Dhahran, a master's degree in chemical engineering from King Saud University in Riyadh, and an MBA degree from Thunderbird School of Management in Arizona, USA. He has over 20 years of experience in different fields related to the petrochemical industry. He contributed to more than 35 patents during his earlier years of experience in developing different technologies for SABIC. He serves as a board member at different companies, centers, and institutions. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the Nusaned Investment Company. Before being appointed to his current role, he was serving as a General Manager of SABIC Global Chemical Technologies. He's Mr. Fuad Mosa. Before we start today's presentation, we have just to set the structure of this event. We will have 30 minutes presentation by our guest, followed by 20 minutes of Q&A. You can utilize the questions section of GoToMeeting application at the bottom side, or on the right side if you're using your laptop. We'll have at the end 5 minutes for closeout thoughts by our guest and Dr. Bassem. Without further ado, I keep you to be inspired by our guest, Mr. Fuad Mosa. You have the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Ali. Good evening to you all. I would like to thank you all for sparing some time for this engagement, which I hope it will help all of us to get engaged in order to find a way how we can drive a success in our future. Frankly speaking, I used to present in front of the people. It's absolutely inconvenient to face the computer, but I will try to do my best, and hopefully that we will have this engagement, and we can get the maximum out of it. What I am thinking to talk about today is what I have been discussed with the organizers. It's mainly about what's my professional experience and what I discovered now that I wish that I knew at the time of education and different stages of my life. So Ali, the slide is not moving. Okay. So what we will talk about is the puzzled life and the success. I believe everybody is looking to be a success person in his life, but always this is coming with a lot of challenges, starting from different stage of the life. If we would like to look to our current situation, everybody now is living in the situation of COVID-19. What COVID-19 is making to all of us is challenging our desire. Again, is what we have to do. So everybody has a desire to do so many things. And what COVID-19 teaching us now is how you will be able to control your desire. And why you need to control your desire? Because you need to save your life and your loved one's life. So this is the COVID-19 situation. But simply, if we look to the cycle of life, it's not far from COVID-19. In different stage of our life, we have a different desire. And against each desire, we have a lot of things which we should do. So in the left side, we have the government, we have the Ministry of Health. They are giving us what we have to do. They are helping us. So although that they are giving it to everybody, still people, they have a challenge to control their desire in order to do things which are supposed to be done. And in our life, we have the same issue, that there are a lot of things which we should do, but our problem that we have our own desire. When we are at education, when we start the work, when we are ending our work, there are a lot of desires around us. We will go over some of them, but always there are something which you should do in order to achieve your ultimate life success. So based on my experience and or my generation experience, what I can simply tell everybody, that those people who were very successful, they have the right balance, and they always look for what they should do, not what they like to do. And I hope that this quick slides will help us to go over the life stages. I would like to give you my view, and we would like to spend some time this hour between what I will say and your questions in order to come up with the main elements which can help you to have a successful life, starting from education as a first stage and going through 3 stages at works. I made it 4, trying to have it very simple. I believe if I would like really to tell you everything we should do, we need to have a series of lessons. But today we would like to consolidate all of this in my 30 minutes talk and in your questions, and we try to help you. If I tell you something in any stage, this does not mean that you don't need it in the other stage, but I would like to highlight in each stage the most important things which everybody need to focus on in order to achieve the maximum of each stage of his life. So let's try to navigate the first stage. And everybody knows that the first stage in our life is our education stage, starting from elementary, which I don't want to count it, going to intermediate, coming to high school, which I believe the high school is the first things which everybody need to look at it. And this period, I always call it the stage of self-conflict. You have a lot of things which is going around you. Hormones development, you would like to start your personality, you would like to do everything. So the most important things in this, that you are trapped. Just imagine yourself that you are trapping in the water. And in this trap, you have too many things which is affecting you, which is conflicted your mind. One of them is your parents, your family desire. A lot of us, they have his parents, his family, who's always looking for him during the education, and they would like to influence things which he is trying to do. The other trap is you really would like to achieve a high score. How is the best way for me to achieve a high score? And it is only by keeping myself at my room, just studying day and night in order at the end achieving this high score. Is this enough in order to pass this stage of education in a perfect way? Third things, I have a lot of desire coming from different part of you, and those desires, you are day and night, you'd like to watch TV, you'd like to play Sony, you'd like to play football, you'd like to play basketball. The most other important things which usually affecting all of us, you would like to spend as much time with your friends. All this is going around you, it's making you in a big trap. And the most important things for you, how you can get out of this trap. And I will just give you a few things which may help you, because we don't have time now to discuss it in detail. But what I can tell you, and I, in my education stage, I get a lot of benefit out of some of this. If I did it all well, I will be a perfect in this stage, but I cannot state that I was a perfect one. But what I am saying, that I was able to get from those which I will highlight you now, the best out of some of them which make me passing this education stage in a very good results. The first thing is the role model. Everybody knows that to be a success, you have to have a target. And to have a target in the education stage, the best target for you is to have a role model for you. And this role model, it will help you a lot to structure your mind, to structure your personality as much as you can. I can just simplify it to you. If anybody would like to play football, usually what the people do, if he would like to be a scorer, he will look to Messi and he'd start doing what Messi do in all his act, the way how he is eating, the way how he is trained, and everything you would like to do. So the most important and critical things for you is to have a role model. What the role model will do will help you to shape your thinking against all these traps which we are talking about. Those questions, those traps, people driving you, but you have a role model. So selecting your role model based on what you would like to achieve, this is very critical and very important. The second thing which is also important is your friends. I see that the most important part in your life in how you not select your friend, because some of your friends, they will come by nature. Either they will come because they are your neighbor, or they will come because you see them in any of your activities you are doing, including the school. But what I would like to say that in order for you to be successful, you need to be able to have at least two parts of friendship. A friendship where you do your own enjoyment, and the friendship where they can help you to develop yourself very well. And if you would like to mix between them, which I tried, and I think my generation tried, you always failed. And those people who are successful I believe they have a two type of friendship. One, in order to have a full enjoyment, and the second, in order to be able to spend a quality time in order to look for the best. The third thing is blessing and your actions. So everybody is doing a lot of things. Think huge effort, but how you bless this effort? For me, the experience that you need to take care of a lot of prayer which help you. It will be in every stage, but I am 100% sure that this stage is an important stage where the blessing to your action is very critical. How? Your parents. First things, your parents, the prayer of the parents, which will continue supporting you. This is very critical, and this is the best part, which I believe myself, I did it very well, and it have a lot. I see it. You can see sometimes that you are facing a lot of things, and suddenly you are seeing a good out of what the situation you are facing. The last thing is shaping your personality. You need really to have a personality which is a mix of what you supposed to do in the bottom questions. So the bottom questions, if you look to the left side, if you will be a left side in this question, that means you will have a different personality, a personality which is very straight, the personality which is not resilient. And if you are in right, you will have a personality which is really careless. And in order to have the right personality, you need to have a mix between both of them. So those people who just keep doing what they're supposed to do from the school point of view, from the parents' direction point of view, and that's it, usually they have a personality which they face a lot of problem. And the other side, those people who have the mix, they were always successful because they can understand the life in far better way. So this is the education stage. We can elaborate more, but the time is not helping us to do. Now you come to the career stage. The problem with the career stage that when you just start in any company, institution, anywhere, the starting point, it will look like arriving to a country at the airport. You don't have an address, you don't have a driver, and you don't know where to go. And you are lost. And if you will not be able to handle this first time very well, then you will be trapped on different things. You will be trapped on how can I accelerate my career? I don't know. I would like to have my career. I would like to build a good career. You start thinking of it. Some people, they start trapping on this in a way that they spend time without really delivering anything. The second thing, how can I find the best floor to stand? I would like really to see myself in this company, in this university, anywhere. And this is all, it's very difficult for everybody when he start on his, and you keep thinking about all of this without really start a real step. And this delay a lot of starting point for everybody. The most important thing is fighting the ego. The problem when you are getting to any work, you're supposed to come if you are an engineer, if you are an operator, and there are a lot of people who is doing work which is defined as a low quality work sometimes in anywhere. There is no low quality, but what I can say, an engineer, when he look to the operator who is doing some activity, he get the feeling that, oh, I am an engineer and I should not do this. This is something which is not in my level of work. And if you are an operator and you see somebody do a work and you said, oh no, I am a technician, I should not do this, and you have this an ego. The problem at the first 5 years, that it is the time where you have to learn everything, and learning everything, it's required a curiosity. And the problem that the ego will go always against your curiosity. And in order to get out of this curiosity, you need to find a way. How can I get out of the curiosity? For me, I get the bliss of having a godfather. whom when I start my career, he was a very old engineer in SABIC, and he told me, Fuad, I really like you, and I would like really to tell you one thing. Fuad, if you would like really to make a good career and to be a pioneer in this company, you need to learn small things before you learn big things. How to learn small things? You need to go to everywhere and to find those things which you believe that it is not important. Learn it. And believe me, most of my patents which I get, I can't believe 40% of this 35 patents, it came because I know the small things. I was doing the moisture analysis for chemicals, where I don't think at that time any engineer within SABIC said, oh, this is very trivial. What is that? A small step in getting a moisture in a chemical? This is not an important. Two of my patents, it was because I knew exactly how the moisture machine working. If I don't know it, I was not able to link myself with the operator later when I was working, and we were able to come up with those two patents. So this is just trivial things, but believe me, it is very critical. But your ego sometimes is not allow you to go down in order to learn more of this. Short-term goals. You have to have a short-term goals in order to win in your first years. You have to, for me, I remember my godfather in the work, he told me you have to have a daily goal. And I put it always in my office. He told me always, a day without learning is a day lost. You have to learn every day something, and as this is a good thing, as this will help you in order to develop yourself very well. Now, how we can get out of this? The first important things which I believe, you have to choose your mentor. I believe that lots of people who were not able to have a successful first 5 years, they don't have a mentor, or their mentors have been assigned by somebody else. So they didn't assign their mentor. And you need to choose your mentor. You have to fight to have a right mentor, because the mentor will make your future life. The second thing which is important, you have to have a humble personality. You don't need to show a very sophisticated personality in the first 5 years. You need to be very humble, because this is the only way for you to learn. It is the era or the period where you have to learn, and nobody will stop you from learning. Any questions, stupid or good questions you will ask, the people will answer you. But if you would like to get it, you have to be very humble, and this humble personality is very important. The other things, you need to test and challenge your knowledge. What you need to do, don't be scared. I remember when I was in the first 2 to 3 years, they used to tell who would like to do this presentation in front of XYZ. Even if nobody asks you to do this, you should do it. Maybe you will fail once, you will fail twice, but you need to test yourself that you learn well. You need to challenge yourself in order to show more out of what you have. And this is very critical for you. You need to avoid office and corridor talk. I saw a lot of my colleagues, they trapped of this office and corridor talk. It is not a way to make networking. It's usually a way to drain your effort, to drain your energy. You start talking about somebody, you need to talk about what is going wrong, what is going right, and all of this is just drain your energy. I remember that I never in my first 5 years, people, they said, why, what this guy, why he is not coming to us, why he is not talking to us? Because I know that this is wrong. I get a clarity that if you will continue doing this, you are not gaining anything. You are just draining your energy. The last important things, the first 5 years is the best years to give you more and more and more on technical know-how. The rest, it will be more difficult than the 5 years, as I said before, because everybody expecting you that you don't know anything. When you pass this 5 years, it will be more difficult for you to have it. Now you come to the heart of your career. The middle age, start from 5 all the way up to 20 years. This one is the main enjoyment in your work career. It's the main hustles. You will face the enjoyment, you will face the hustles, you will have the opportunity. The opportunity to make your career is always coming in this middle career stage. It's very critical because it will decide if you will be a great or average or you will be bad from success point of view. And I can tell you that I can see it in most of my members. I can see it also in my friends, in my people who we start together, and some of them they get trapped in this. Where is the trap here? The trap is you would like to have clarity of your career path. So the time people they start getting to 5th year, they start saying, oh, my career is not clear. I get lost. And he start trapping in this question. I would like to have a clarity in my career. It is not clear. And this is sometimes it's creating a lot of mess in your mind. I would like to be a manager. Alas, I have 5 years. It's my time to be a manager. And you keep fighting everywhere to be a manager. I can do more. They are not giving me a right work. My manager is not supporting me. I deserve more. And you start just getting yourself trapped in this. And then you start thinking, I am in the right place, or shall I prepare my CV? See, the time you start thinking about preparing your CV, I deserve more, it get you trapped. And then what will happen? You don't drive your career will drive you. And you need to drive your career in order to be successful. So what you need in this? I think the most important here is the emotional intelligence, because you will now from 5 to 20, you'll start really working with a different type of people. And you all hear about emotional intelligence, but unfortunately, with the importance of emotional intelligence to everybody hear about it, nobody really mastered it very well. And people, they lost in this stage because they are weak or lack of their emotional intelligence in order to be able to pass this. The other important thing is networking. You don't need the networking in the first part of your career, but here you need the networking inside the work and externally outside the work, because it will open to you a lot of things which you don't see it. Some of the people, they just focus on the work. They don't think about networking. Nobody knows them. And this is very bad. How you can do your networking? This can be done everywhere. When you are doing the work within your company, or you go outside for a conference or anything, you should focus to have a right networking in order to help yourself. Build a solid perception. I remember one of our leaders in SABIC, he said, assigning the leader in SABIC is 70% based on perception. And sometimes you have a problem. You're trapped on the bad perception. People, they believe that you are not a leader. Sometimes it's not a reality, it's a perception. Huh? And you don't watch that all what you are doing, it can affect your perception in front of everybody, on the mind of everybody. So this is very critical. And I saw a lot of my colleagues, they have been really losing their career because of the perception, not because of anything else. Improve your soft skill. Forget about this technicality. It's good to have some technicality, but this period is not the period where you have to focus on the technicality. It is really the period where you have to focus on your soft skill. It's the soft skill, the one which will really show yourself how you present, how you talk, how you negotiate in the meeting, how you absorb issues. All of this is a soft skill. It has nothing to do with how you did in the education, on how big technical you are. The content is good, but without this soft skill, then you will become somebody who has a lot in a content, but he's not able to show it. The last things, you need during this period to conclude your work personality. They will start titling you. He is a leader. He is a technical. He is bad. He is good. Your personality will be shaped by all those four items which I already indicate. If you do it well, believe me, you will have a personality which everybody like, because in this middle career, you would like really to shift yourself from a newcomers to somebody who is very critical and important for your company. Now you come to the end, which is an important thing, which I am currently in the last 2 to 3 years living with. But I have a lot of people around me. I watch them, I ask them, and I see that somebody feels that I reached the maturity. All traps, which I already supposed to get in work, already done. But unfortunately, when you are coming and you start this years, you figure out that, wow, there are still some traps, which I believe that is already gone. It's still there. You are already 20 plus, but still, the rest of your working life, it can be 5 years till early retirement. It can be 10 years or mid-year retirement. It can be 20 years, because I have some of the successful people who start or continue making career all the way up to 60 years, 60 plus. We can see a lot of them around us. And how those people do, they were able not to trap on who can value my experience more, and then start getting lost. And this is something very critical, because you see yourself have a good knowledge, you see yourself can really get more compensation, better position, and then you start thinking, and I saw a lot of my colleague, they get trapped in this. And he is not in the company doing well, or he did not lift the company and find another way. He is still in the company. He is not doing as great as supposed to be, but unfortunately, he's keep trapped on this. The other things, he start, do I am still having a career? Yes, no, and you can sat with a lot of people who start thinking, oh, is the right time to retire, to think about retirement, and you start having these questions. Those traps, it's very critical. And I think you need to be able to continue your career. And in order to continue your career, you need totally to think differently. You need to think different than what you did before. And in order to do this, you need to decide very clearly, do you like to continue this journey as a leader or as an expert? And it makes a big difference. And the problem that some of the people, they don't believe that if I am an expert, I can make a strong career. If I don't manage 100 people, then I did not make a career. And I saw in my experience, there are a lot of experts who contribute far more than those people who became a general manager or others. And I remember one of our colleagues, he was an expert in rotating equipment. And people, they said, wow, we don't want to lose this guy. And they decided to make him a GM of technical. And this guy, he has nothing to do with leading people, with managing people. He is an expert. And we were in Germany in one of the projects with Mitsubishi. And there were a lot of debate about a machine. This machine only produced in Japan, only produced in Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi people came, and there were a lot of fight between Mitsubishi team and between our engineering team. And they said, oh, bring this guy. They brought this guy all the way from Jubel to Germany. And this guy spent some time, 1-2 days, and he said, this is the right, this is the wrong. Japanese, they said, this guy is crazy. He said, okay, take it, go back to office and come back to me later, talk to your office. They talked to the office, and the office, they said, He is absolutely right, and we are wrong. This guy, he was an expert doing a great everywhere in the world. They put him as a general manager for a technical, and unfortunately, we lost this guy. It's been 2 to 3 years. He was not able to do anything, and then he's retired. So we lost him. So it's very important to figure out after this, do you like to continue as a leader because you already shape yourself, or you'd like to be an expert? The second thing is 80-20 rule. See, the problem of a lot of people after this age, that they will continue dig deep on things. And this is very important. They trap on continue doing details. And this 80-20, we heard about it always. But frankly speaking, as much as you are continue doing details, then you are a senior with a mind of junior. Simply, you need really to do less, deliver more. And the only things to do less, deliver more, that you need to bring yourself more in a helicopter view. You need to be strategically focused, because you are now having the wealth of experience where you would like to think strategically. But some of the people get trapped on this, and they were not able to do it. And with this, they are not able to find their leadership way, either in the expert side or in the leader. Even if you are an expert, at the time you are 20 years, you should not do a technical things which below 20 is supposed to do. So you need an expert where you can, somebody know the analysis, and you need to look at it, and you need to reflect your experience on this. Unless you will be able to take care of this, then you will be trapped, and this will be a big problem. Let me try to conclude in the next 2 to 3 minutes to allow for the question. So what my life concludes so far, for the education stage, let's always be careful on 4 important things. There are a lot of things, and I can spend 6 hours to tell you more than this, but I am just giving you a takeaway. Assure always you have 2 groups of friends, because I tried it in a different stages. You cannot mix them. You need to have a friend where you just have them for enjoyment, and you need to have a friend where they can shape the other side of your life. You need to select your role model. Don't move without role model. If you'd like to be a good basketball player, you need to decide Michael Jordan or others, and you need to look what he's doing. And people, frankly speaking, even they look for the same shoes, look for the same t-shirt and everything. They even try to find how he is walking, and they walk similar to him. Your role model can make you a good basketball player, huh? But in the same way, if you would like to be a successful writer, you look for a role model who can write very well, and you look how he's doing. If you would like to have it in your life, you need to look, because this will help you a lot in shaping your future. Build a balanced personality. Don't have the shy personality, which is always coming from those people who staying at home, listening to their family only, studying. They don't know what is going on around them. I remember people came to university, the first day and 2 days, they don't know anything. They were totally hopeless. They cannot depend on themselves for doing anything. And this balanced personality, it will help you to navigate your life in every stage in your life. And believe me, those people, you can see them. I'm sure that all of you have people like them around. The last things, your action can maximize by blessing. Take care of having prayers from your parents. Support others. I think in this period, you need to support others. As they are close to you, as better for you. In an initial stage, be humble. Your humble personality, it will allow people to accept you, to teach you. You can learn more. This is very important. It is the only time where people can accept you without seeing you as a competitors, without a fear from you. It's your time. Select your mentorship yourself. Don't allow people to select a mentorship for you, like what is going on. The right mentorship is the mentorship where you read your future, you read what you like to be, and you look around you and you see this is the guy who can bring me to my destiny. Avoid office corridor talk, kill you. It wastes your energy. Believe me, I saw a great people who was done from the first years because of the office and corridor talk. Build your base know-how. It's a time where you can be very strong. For me, without the first 5 years, I will never have neither this patent nor any success I had in my life. The middle career, there are an important four. This does not mean there are other things which is not important, but believe me, it is the most important. Watch your soft skill. Watch your soft skill. If you don't know how to present and make people inspired with your presentation, you have an issue in this stage. If you are not able to build the perception, well, that anybody is thinking about a good things, you come in their mind. And this is what is happening in the company, in university, and everywhere. Huh? If they have a perception, good perception about somebody, the time they think about something, you come in their mind. And I remember the leader, they said, yes, this is what's happening. We come to the table, sometimes we are not well prepared. We have a big job. And when we said, wow, we would like to have a big job, Nasir is the best things to do this. Maybe he is not the best, but the perception about him that he is the best because he is able to work out everything which is required. Essential network, internal, external. We will talk to you internally. We will talk about you externally. How? It's emotional intelligence. How you can behave in a different situation. This is very important. Finally, this is the time where you can build your work-life personality. And frankly speaking, there are a lot of people who did it wrong and their personality killed them. They were not able to change afterward and they shaped as he is like this. And this is what you should not do, and you take care that you don't do. Finally, whenever you reach to 20 years experience, you should learn how to do less and deliver more. Otherwise, you will be trapped on a different things, which I can tell you, because at that time, you would like to deliver more. Your delivery will be really measuring the rest of your career, and you will never be able to deliver this compared to your experience if you don't have the 80-20. Well, if you don't know 80-20, learn. There are books about 80-20, learn it, especially when you are approaching this. If you approach middle clear and you didn't read about emotional intelligence, you don't have a courses about emotional intelligence, please go to these courses. Please read those books, because if you don't understand emotional intelligence, you will destroy this middle career. And here, if you don't know how to do less and deliver more, you will destroy this career. Be a strategic thinker. Avoid details. Try to avoid details. You sometimes need to go to it. This is once in a blue moon. But always, the people, they have to look to you as a strategic thinker. This is important. Otherwise, you are trapping yourself in a different zone than what you should be in order to continue your career. And choose clearly between leadership and expert path. I believe if you come to the end of your middle career stage, you will know that if you are a leader and you can continue as a leader or not. Don't force yourself to be a leader if you can do a different things, which is an expert. You can be, believe me, a very, very, very influential by yourself. And this is those people who get a Nobel Prize and others. They are doing it themselves. They are taking some groups around them, but they are not really leading them. They have an ability in order to bring what they have in a proper way and get the most out of it. and people, they were trapping on this. I need to be a CEO. But you should not be a CEO if you are not really shaped as a CEO. Then the people, they keep forcing themselves as a CEO, and they kill and destroy their energy for the rest of their life. And I saw a lot of people who would like to be director, manager, some of them for the last 5 years, from the 19 years of experience till 24, 25, they were trapped on this. They were not a director. They didn't become a sustainable director, and they did not convince their company, institution, that they are bringing a value to them. I would like to thank you all to listen to me. I think I try to really bring it. I take more than the time Ali gave to me, maybe around 7-8 minutes more. I try to be quick. Such things cannot be quick, but I would like all of you to take the takeaway, which I already highlighted in the last 2 slides. You believe it, you don't believe it, just do it. This is what's happening here in COVID. If you don't believe that COVID is a reality, and you said, I'd like to go to the market, I would like to go to my family, to my mother's, then you may be trapped on something which you don't like. There are something here where you may don't like it. I remember some of my colleague, he is retired now. I told him, you are not a leader. You cannot be a GM. He was very upset. And I told him, believe me, you will be the best expert in this company. He said, no, either I become a GM or I don't want to continue. And unfortunately, he lost things which he can do because it is his desire. His desire, like our desire now to go to the shop, to go to everywhere, but the desire is not always things which can bring you. I said at the beginning, COVID is a challenge between your desire and what you have to do based on the Ministry of House and your government. Your life working success is the balance between your desire and what you should do. And what I highlight to you, and you can take more from some people better than me, that you need to learn what you should do, not what you desire to do. Thank you, and the mic for you, Ali.
Thank you very much. MashaAllah, a wealthy and rich experience summarized in a gift that we can all take together, especially that I fall into the first group from the 1st to 5 years. I can talk on behalf of my colleagues, the students, and the people in their earlier years of their career, that we have received a gift that summarizes this experience in very few slides and 30 very informative sessions, 30 minutes of informative sessions. We have received a number of questions. MashaAllah, long list of questions. We'll try to pick and choose some of the top questions and the most asked questions and repeated ones. We will start with the very special guest in our audience today, who is Mr. Sulaiman Osman. He's an ex-VP from Shell Global Solutions. He asked a question that you have highlighted a few times in the presentation. He's saying, not everyone can become or want to be a manager. How do you attract talents to make career in technical and field expertise, especially here in the Saudi and Gulf region?
Again, can you repeat, Ali?
He's saying not everyone can become or want to be a manager. How do you attract talent to make career in technical field and become an expert?
I think the most important things is the starting point. Again, what you learn at your start of your career, it will totally affect your rest of your career, and how you value the technical knowledge, how you value to be an expert. This is something, unfortunately, especially in our region, it's not there because everybody believes that if I would like to make a successful career, I have to be a CEO of a company, or I have to be a president of the university, or rector of university, but this is not true. In order to know this, you need to have a right first role model, because if you come to the football game, everybody would like to be a scorer. If we will take it from this, then nobody will be a goalkeeper. But there are a lot of people who become a goalkeeper. Why? They were able to shape themselves from beginning according to their capabilities, and they start getting the role model for their life very well. In case if they were not able to make it well during education, the mentorship can shape it at the beginning. This is why I said, if you lost the period where you can select your role model who can shape your first stage, don't miss it in the first 5 years. Ali said, I like the message for us in the first 5 years, and I can tell all of people listening to me, whom in the first 5 years, if you don't have a mentor, a good mentor, if you are 4 years now, you lost 4 years. If you are 2 years, you lost 2 years. If you are 5 years, unfortunately, you lost this period. So the mentor who can tell you, you need to be a scorer, or you need to be a goalkeeper. One of the best scorer in Saudi Arabia, called Majid Abdullah, he was a goalkeeper at the beginning. And his coach, he took him because he figured out that he has some capability and put him as a scorer, and from there he became the best scorer in Saudi Arabia. So the mentor, again the mentor. And this is my friend Sulaiman. He is one of the best mentors, and I think a lot of good people, they came out of people like Sulaiman. He is retired, but I believe that he can even continue now mentor part of the people listening to us now.
MashaAllah. I'll also ask one question highlighted by Mr. Amir Al-Anazi, and I feel this question also with my colleagues, which is related to reputation, especially for the people in the early years of their careers. They fall into people impression of them, whether it's their managers, their senior managers or directors. And he's saying, wouldn't you think that it's hard to change a first impression? So if I shelter myself in my early career, I would perhaps lose some important networking due to a view of arrogance from my colleagues. This is one example, which is the arrogance, but I believe many things fall into this, whether, lack of knowledge or being not skillful, and many impressions that could fall in their initial stages of their career.
I see. I can tell all of you that the initial career is the biggest trap in your life. Believe me. If you will take a person without considering any unusual support which can be done for his career, because there are people, few good people, who reach not because of their capability, because of different reasons. If you forget about this and we look for the person who would like to build his career by himself, what I can tell you, the first 5 years is the only period for you to build your strong technicality. Afterward, you will face a hell of challenges in order to do that. If you will go with whatever my mentor told me, and he said, put in your office, before you go 4 p.m. from your office, read it. A day without learning is a day lost. Believe me, if you are learning every day, after 5 years, you will go to the second stage of your working life and you will be a pioneer. Before, you have so many things which will hinder you to build a strong technicality. I can just tell you what's happening to me, and I gave you an example of this patent of measuring a moisture in a chemical. It's a very trivial part of what our technician in SABIC do. It's a machine, very simple machine, and very really low quality job. I can tell you, compared to whoever engineers, if I am talking about the engineers like you, like me, but I learned from this something which helped me to have 2 patents. There are lots of people who spend all their life to make 1 patent. I make 2 patents out of my all patents because I learned how the moisture analysis work. I learned it because I did it my hand. He told me, I will take the technician out and you have to do it. You need to learn how the safety preparation, you need to learn how this machine can be prepared, you need to do the test, you need to repeat the test, you need to check the test in the analysis, you need to come back to see if you are right, and all of this. What those people will look at you in the 5 years will never change anything for you. What you will impress them later when you are strong and you come to the real part of your life, this 5 to 20, where you are strong. We are in a meeting. When you start talk, everybody listen to you. If they talk about something, you know it. You don't know it because you read it. You know it because you do it. And this is the only time where you can do. There are something which I learned, a hands-on experience. And I can tell everybody, there is never things which can beat the hands-on experience for anybody.
Thank you. We have received a long list of questions and a long list of thank you words and appreciations. I'll conclude with this question because we have covered the expert side and the technical side. We'll also cover the executive side or the leadership side. A question here from Abdurrahman Raheli. He's asking, executive or C-suite level have a different mindset that allows to drive the company forward and to have a forward-looking mindset. From your experience, what are the common mistakes that freshly assigned executives fall into? Thank you.
See, I think the trap, if you start being a manager or being an executive anywhere, the first trap is to change quickly. This is the first trap. So whenever you go anywhere in your life, you are in a work, in a team, in a house, everywhere, give yourself time before you start changing. This is number 1. And always people saying that the first 90 days is the days where you have to learn the location which you are arrived to. So give yourself this 90 days. I remember one of our seniors, I really admire him always. He moved maybe 5-6 times in an executive levels, and he really take this 90 days. He get a notebook and he's in every meeting with his peers, with his team, and he is just listening, writing, listening, writing, asking questions, listening, writing. He is never guiding anybody during this 90 days. He leave everybody to do what he's supposed to do before. And after 90 days, he come up with his view. And I think this is the most important thing. This is first. The second thing is this emotional intelligence. It is very important in the middle stage, but I believe for me, the emotional intelligence, it is the one which for me, I get a plus that they brought the advisor of Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. He teach us this emotional intelligence. At the time where Mahathir Mohamad was out, he has no job. He started doing courses. They brought him to SABIC. I was lucky that I was in the first people who get this from this advisor. And maybe I learned it better than others. This helped me a little bit in my career. But what this guy told us, that emotional intelligence will help you to have less enemies. What can kill you as an executive or a leader? If you have a quick action, and the second, if you have an enemies, and if your parents, if your peers, or people reporting to you, or people outside, they start the enemy which you don't see, huh? You feel that you are in a meeting and everything, but they don't really get along to you because you don't have the proper emotional intelligence. You were not able to gain them well with you. If you will do it very well, and you already take care of the previous stages, you have a strong technicality, you shape your soft skill, you come to this executive level in 20 years or 18 or 22 years, you wait for yourself at the beginning, and you use emotional intelligence with the people around you, I am 100% sure that you will be a pioneer in what you are doing. This is a very simple. There are a lot of other traps, but for me, those two main traps, which I saw, some of our people, they become an EVP in a big company like SABIC. Some of them, they were EVP for 1 year, 1.5 years, and then they were out. Why they were out? They trapped on one of those two, and unfortunately, it affected their career badly. So I think this is one of things which is very critical, and I hope that I made it very clear for you.
Very, very clear. I get a notification from the organizing team that we can take one more question. We have given chance for the, let's say, young professionals and professionals. We get a question from a student, from Rawan Samim. She's saying, I have heard that GPA doesn't really matter if you have extracurricular activities, internships, and other skills. I found that not to be true. Can you really compensate for your low GPA when applying for a first new job?
See, if things is little changed than the time when we started, huh? I knew 100% at our time that the company usually they don't look for a GPA and only GPA, and sometimes the GPA is not helping you. I can give you two different examples. The first example, at the time when we graduated, KFUPM, if you look to the curriculum of KFUPM and compare it to KSU or other university, you will find that the curriculum from technical point of view of KSU or King Abdulaziz or any other university is much rich from technicality. The number of hours you are getting to learn your profession. But what KFUPM do is giving you a different capabilities. And what happened to me, I was the first student who came to do his training in the first SABIC Research and Development Center in Saudi Arabia. It was in Riyadh. Before that, for the 3 years of the inception of this research, there were only people from King Saud University. And I remember when I arrived, the people, they were starting what this person can do. And then they gave me to write the first report. And at that time, there were a change between the way how people learning English in KFUPM and others, and maybe some of the people knows, and how they can bring your skills, writing skills. I remember if you were not able to swim 25 meters in KFUPM, you keep repeating this course and it may affecting you. They were putting us in a workshop to make a box. And this box, you can put different things on this box. All this, it looks at the beginning that it will not give you anything, but this learning, it really differentiates us when we started. Now, the challenge which is happening that the people or the graduation become too much, huh? And the level of university increase and the competition, it's more compared to the previous one. However, if you come to any company, they will look to the GPA in order to get you in, and there is a minimum GPA. And I am sure that most of those companies, they put the minimum, not very strict. As mean, if out of 4 till 2.7, 2.8, you can get in. If you are below 2.7, 2.8, sometimes this is due to some issue happening to you, but in reality, some of those companies who concerned about this, they said 2.5 is far lower than what I would like to receive. But let me just give you what will happen between 2.8 and 4 out of 4. And I knew in different company, and I am one who did hundreds of interviews, that what finally make it is not your GPA. This is why I'm saying that it is very important to balance your personality, because this will teach you something other than what you read in the book. If you are a student who just read, sitting at your room, you don't do different things. I knew lots of people, they were in a college club, they went out and in, and this shaped their personality in totally different things. And when they come, they were able to do. I made a statistics, and it is in SABIC, it is in Aramco, and it is in the whole private sectors, at least, which I know. I would like you to go and ask all those leaders, including myself, how much your GPA. You will be really surprised that more than 70% of those people who's leading now, their GPA was at the minimum level of the acceptance of their company. They are not the 4 out of 4. And a lot of those people who were 4 out of 4, they were very successful at the university if they continue, but when they go to the real life, a lot of them, they were not able to make it to full success. Not because they don't know or they don't have the right content, because they don't have the resilient personality, which can help them in order to navigate a lot of things. It's not an easy, straightforward, it's not a technical things, it is so many things together. And this, it shows in the previous experience, and I think this will continue be the governance for the people who would like to make it. How you are able to make your personality very resilient, how you would like to know more, not to know only what is in the book. All of this, believe me, it will make a big things. And I did it. I was not an A student. I was hardly sometimes get a B student. But finally, if it is an A student who can make it, we will never be in what we are now in our career.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Fuad, for the amazing presentation and engagement. AIChE hopes that they have given you, the people at home, a time out of COVID-19, out of a quarantine to grow and learn. We have received more than 6,800 likes for this event and more than 300 attendees today. We would like to also remind the team and the people who joined us today that we have an event happening in 2 days on May 11th. The title is Making the Voice Within Louder Than the Noise Around by Mr. Sam Tiara, who is a professional who has created a personal journey as an accomplished speaker, coach, writer, and workshop facilitator, educator, and entrepreneur. We hope to see you at the same time at 10 p.m. Inshallah, by Monday 11th. I keep it to you, Dr. Bassem, to conclude today's session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali, and thank you very much to my classmate, Mr. Fuad. It was really a fantastic night. I think, or I can say that I'm sure that everybody have enjoyed it, and we are looking forward for more of collaboration with you, Mr. Fuad, in different aspects, inshallah, and coming يعني خلينا نقول weeks and months, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Basim, and really I am very happy. I hope that people they get some out of this, and again I would like really to re-emphasize on what I start with. If you'd like to be successful in COVID, take care of what government telling you. If you'd like to be successful in your life career, just have a good control of your desire and make sure that you know what you should do, please.
Just to conclude, the recording for this session will be available and it will be sent to everybody, inshallah. So thank you very much, and looking forward to see you in our coming webinar, and have a nice night.